Good evening, everyone. We are looking at a winter weather advisory that is going to be in effect all the way until 7 o'clock Sunday evening for a fast-moving storm system. It's going to last about 12 hours. Some spots will linger a little longer out towards the Cape, but it is going to be generally a light snow event for us. And as the 11 o'clock hour, you can see light snow has been spreading through Connecticut, western Massachusetts, and is right on our doorstep. A few snowflakes beginning to work in across the western area of the state. And it is going to continue to snow all night long. Now, our temperatures, notice they're just above the freezing mark, mid-30s as of the 11 o'clock hour. And these numbers will come down a little bit once the snow gets underway, but then kind of level off in the upper 20s, low 30s, and that's where it'll stay pretty much all night long. But look, as we go off to the Great Lakes region, how cold the air is getting. This is coming in here for Monday. We're going to have some bitter cold temperatures settling into the region. So let's break it down for you, see how this all plays out on the weather maps. So there's an area of low pressure really that's down working its way through the D.C. region. This is going to be our snow precipitating maker across the region throughout the overnight and into our Sunday morning. Most of the activity is pretty much going to be winding down by midday, but as the storm gets past the Cape and the islands, it's going to continue to strengthen. And so that's going to bring down the stronger wind gusts as we get into the afternoon and right on into Monday. And in fact, the wind direction may be a little more northerly or northwesterly. So as we go into the afternoon hours and into the evening, there could be additional ocean effect snow showers going on for the outer Cape. We'll take a closer look at how this is all going to play out in just a moment. But as we do go into Monday, really it's the wind that is going to be the story, along with the very cold temperatures as high pressure settles in behind the departing low, which will continue to strengthen as it gets up into the Canadian Maritime. So we're going to be dealing with some very cold temperatures once again, but pretty much for a day, and then things will start to turn around as we go through the second half of the upcoming week. So let's take a close look, see how this is all playing out through the overnight and into our Sunday morning. You can see the region enveloped in light snow, but notice as you get north of the Mass Turnpike, the snow area kind of breaks up a little bit. So up in that region, the snow amounts are not going to be all that much, just some slippery conditions in spots. But it's really the south coastal areas, Washington and Kent, Newport counties over towards southern Bristol and Plymouth counties and on to the Cape that'll be dealing with the steadiest snowfall rates, perhaps encroaching an inch per hour at times for your Sunday morning. But then as we get to the late morning hours, everything's starting to unwind. There'll still be some additional snow showers into the early afternoon. And if you're going up to Foxborough to watch the Patriots game, it'll be right near the very end of it because it's going to be drying out as we go through the afternoon hours. But like I said, look at the outer Cape. They continue to have the ocean effect snow bands continuing into Sunday evening, which means some additional snowfall there. But then, like I said, some very cold temperatures come in on the back side of this system. So Monday morning, we start off in the teens and we get stuck in the mid to upper 20s for highs, along with some gusty winds. So what are we talking for snowfall amounts? I'm really thinking for the most part across the northern part of the state, it's 1 to 2 inches, Burrillville, Woonsocket, over to Cumberland, and right up towards Worcester. So this entire region here, between Worcester, Boston, Providence, it's about 1 to 2 inches. When you get south of Providence, especially down to Kent and Washington and Newport counties, 2 to 4 inches, and the highest amounts likely to be right along the southernmost areas over towards New Bedford and on to the Cape. That's the way I'm seeing it right now. And here's how one of the computer models is suggesting it plays out. So I'm going to kind of break the timeline down for you a little bit. By 6 o'clock in the morning, it's generally about an inch or two of snow that'll be out on the ground. Some spots could have a little bit more. And then as we go towards the noontime hour, we're going to add another inch. So between 6 a.m. and noontime, an additional inch will fall. And then from there on for the rest of the event, again, it doesn't last much longer into the early afternoon. We might pick up an additional 1/4 to 1/2 inch when all is said and done. So you can see how these numbers are pretty much lining up with what I was just showing you for my projected snowfall map. All right, like I said, after the event, the winds pick up. So they're going to get gusty, 25 to 30 miles per hour Sunday night into Monday, staying rather busy all day long. And that means wind chills Monday morning are going to be down near zero. Be ready for that as you get heading off to work or back to school. And then for the afternoon hours, it still feels like it's into the teens. All right, but that's the one-day shot of the real cold air. Look, we go into Tuesday. We're back into the low 30s with a good deal of sunshine. Wednesday, low 40s. Thursday and Friday up near 50 degrees. Perhaps some rain coming our way on Friday. That's your latest forecast.